As we commence the Open Government Partnership Week in Nigeria, our government came into office on the back of a three-pronged agenda. One, ensuring security; two, rebuilding the economy; and third, vigorously prosecuting the fight against corruption. This last issue, corruption, has been an existential issue for Nigeria, threatening the very fundament of our existence. It has ensured that for too long, the resources meant for the majority have been cornered by a greedy minority. This issue of corruption underlies every aspect of our national life, from our security situation to the state of our economy. It's the reason why, in spite of record revenues for many years, record oil revenues for many years, we saw no savings and very little investment in infrastructure and jobs. And in spite of the billions of dollars reportedly invested in security, the Boko Haram insurgency and other cases of insecurity did not abate. Our government has adopted a two-step approach to dealing with this scourge of systemic corruption. The first is to stop grand corruption and the accompanying impunity. And the second step, and the more enduring one, is what this week is about. And this is about creating a self-sustaining system that assures transparency and accountability. We have, since we assumed office 3 years ago, made remarkable progress in pushing the frontiers of transparency and accountability in the federal government. One of the first things that the President did when we took office was to establish the Presidential Advisory Committee Against Corruption, PACAC, to coordinate our reform efforts in this regard. We inherited a Treasury single account system that existed at the time mainly as an idea, without any committed implementation. Since the presidential order by President Buhari in August 2015, we've made remarkable progress in expanding the reach of the TSA so that today we have almost 100% compliance. The London Anti-Corruption Summit in May 2016 was an important milestone for us in our anti-corruption efforts because it helped crystallize national commitments into an effective multinational anti-corruption coalition. It was at that conference that Nigeria committed to joining the OGP, and we fulfilled this commitment in July 2017 when we became the 70th country to join the Open Government Partnership, an international multi-stakeholder initiative focused on improving transparency, accountability, citizens' participation, and responsiveness to citizens through technology and innovation. Following this, President Buhari constituted the OGP National Steering Committee with the Federal Ministry of Justice as the coordinating ministry. The OGP has since developed its first national action plan of 14 commitments with a focus on 4 thematic areas. These are fiscal transparency, anti-corruption, access to information, and citizens' engagement. One of the remarkable things about the OGP is that it was designed to function as a partnership between the government and the private sector. Without this coalition building, I doubt that much progress would have been achievable. Regardless of whether the goal is improving infrastructure or fighting corruption, it is clear, as it has always been, that governments simply cannot do it alone. The skills, the experience, the resources, and technology that the private sector brings to the table are often invaluable and in many instances represent the difference between success and failure. We ought to equally acknowledge that there is a limit to what civil society by itself can accomplish without building bridges with the public sector that is very often the target of its work. What our experience with the OGP in Nigeria has proved is that it is possible to build a coalition of like-minded reformers drawn from government and non-state actors. In addition to joining the OGP and developing a national action plan in 2016, the federal government also established a presidential initiative on continuous audit, PICA, housed in the Federal Ministry of Finance, to clean up the federal payroll and pension system across all the ministries, departments, and agencies. PICA's work in this regard has helped the federal government save more than 200 billion naira by eliminating ghost workers. Like the TSA, we're also aggressively expanding the rollout of the Government Integrated Payroll and Personal Information System, IPIS, to ensure that the loopholes that enable payroll fraud are permanently blocked. PICA also oversees the whistleblowing program, which we launched in December 2016. That program has seen recoveries of 7.8 billion naira, $378 million, and 27,800 pounds sterling as of March 2018. Nigeria's experience has shown an action plan to improve transparency, accountability, and citizen participation at other levels of governance. I'm delighted to note that the Kaduna State has not only developed its OGP State Action Plan, which was approved by its State Executive Council early this year, it has also become one of the first pilot states adopted from Nigeria by the OGP International. I'm equally delighted that our efforts in fighting corruption and deepening good governance are being recognized and applauded globally. I've been told by the OGP Secretariat, and you've heard this already, that Nigeria was this year elected into the Global Steering Committee of the Open Government Partnerships, OGP. And then there was the designation in 2017 of President Buhari as the Africa Union's Champion 2018 Anti-Corruption Champion. This is yet another testament to the hard work and political will that this administration has demonstrated in the fight against corruption, even in the face of great resistance. There's no doubt that governments who seek to earn and sustain the trust of citizens must learn to attain and maintain high standards of transparency. The role of the OGP in pushing for and achieving these high standards is evident and wholly deserving of commendation. Let me, on behalf of President Muhammadu Buhari, extend our sincere gratitude to all of those who have made today possible, particularly the OGP Steering Committee, the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, who is co-chair, and the non-state co-chair of the National Steering Committee, and all other members of the National Steering Committee made up of non-state actors, government institutions, and the OGP Secretariat. Distinguished participants, as we deliberate this week on the progress made by the OGP Nigeria, develop new ideas for future work to expand civic engagements, I encourage you to come up with policy recommendations that can radically help in further opening up governments at all levels in Nigeria. We look forward to receiving the final report and recommendations at the end of this week. I thank you very much for your kind attention. But just before I sit, I also have the very distinct pleasure of presenting the OGP Nigeria National Action Plan 2017 to 2019, and it is right here. I think I might do better with the photo opportunity if I'm standing over there. Thank you.
The Vice President is leading the display of the OGP National Action Plan. Thank you very much.
Joshua.